Hey guys, it's Alex here, and welcome back to my second theory video. And did anybody even notice that in my last theory video I was wearing the same t-shirt? It's not like this is my new theory t-shirt, it's coincidence. But anyway, so yeah, this video I'm going to explain who shot Martin Luther King Jr. So, here is what we do know. So, on April 4th, 1968, Dr. King was in Memphis, Tennessee at the Lorraine Motel. And across the street, there was a boarding house. And in that boarding house was James Earl Ray, who had escaped from the Missouri State Penitentiary in Jefferson City, Missouri, a year before the assassination. He had gone a lot of places. He had ended up in Memphis. And they say that he shot Dr. King from the bathroom window of the boarding house that he was in. And then Dr. King, he was on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel. And they say that Ray shot Dr. King in the neck. And then King died an hour later. And then Ray escaped to Toronto, and he got a fake Canadian passport. And then he went to London, Lisbon, Portugal, back to London. He was about to head to Brussels, but he was arrested at a London airport. And he was extradited back to Tennessee and charged with the crime. Sorry, just ignore that, my cleaning ladies are here. So, yeah. So Ray pleaded guilty to the murder and was sentenced to 99 years in the Tennessee State Penitentiary. Well, Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary was the name of the prison, but it was a Tennessee State prison. But many people, including the King family and their friend, attorney William Francis Pepper, they believe that Ray, not only did he not act alone, but he didn't shoot Dr. King. Actually, Pepper doesn't even believe Ray was part of a conspiracy to murder King at all. So, we're going to be explaining multiple theories today. The first thing we're going to explain is, why didn't Ray do it? What evidence do we have? Well, like I said, well, actually, I didn't say this. So, near the boarding house in Memphis, Tennessee, where Ray was renting a room on the day of the assassination, authorities say they found a package. Sorry, it's like cutting off the top of my head. I'm sorry. Authorities say that they found a package in a nearby amusement company that showed a package with like a rifle and binoculars that Ray had bought earlier that day. They had Ray's fingerprints all over it. And it seems like, boom, nail in the coffin. Ray did it. Boom, case closed. No. Because they did bullet tests. They did tests on the rifle, and they proved inconclusive. But they said that if they had to lean to one side or another, they would have to say that it was not the bolt that was pulled out of Dr. King's neck. And what is also notable is that nobody even said that they could identify a man named Ray. Nobody saw a man resembling Ray because he like hit his face in his arm as he was fleeing, supposedly fleeing. And so nobody could identify him. Nobody said they saw a man resembling Ray. This is a guy who escaped from prison out of state a year earlier, so they had to have pictures of him somewhere, and nobody could identify him. Nobody could see a man resembling him. So while I would not be surprised if he was involved in the shooting somehow, I would be surprised if he were the gunman. And that actually brings me to my next point. 3 days after he pled guilty, Ray recanted this guilty plea in saying that he had been framed by a Hispanic criminal associate he had met in Montreal, Quebec. Wait, yeah, it's in Quebec. I know it's in Canada, but it's probably Quebec. I'm good at American geography, not Canadian geography. But he said that this man he knew only as Raoul. But Ray always changed the Raoul story, so we're not really going to take that into account. What we will take into account is, was the FBI involved? Quite possibly. I mean, they're the ones who linked Ray's fingerprints to the gun and binoculars. And I don't doubt that his fingerprints were on it, but like I said, it was not the same bullet. Well, test proved inconclusive, but they said it probably wasn't the same bullet. But they had actually sent a letter to Dr. King that told him urged him to commit suicide. Yeah, that pretty much gives it up right there. I have no evidence, no solid evidence to confirm whether or not they were involved in the killing of Dr. King, but in the aftermath and the investigation of it, and like covering it up and framing Ray, I could definitely see that. Now, the question is, why would they frame Ray? Well, like I said, he escaped from the Missouri prison a year before the assassination. They needed an easy way to capture him, and the best way to do that, in the eyes of the FBI in the 1960s, was to add an unnecessary murder charge to him. I mean, I have no evidence to back that up, but I think it's pretty solid. I think it is a pretty safe bet that they just wanted an easy way to capture him. And plus, he had been in Los Angeles, like, months before the assassination, and he had volunteered for George Wallace's presidential campaign. And Wallace, he was, like, ran on a segregationist platform, and Ray, sorry, it's my cleaning ladies. Ray was a huge segregationist, so maybe that could have something to do with it. And anyway, so now we're gonna try to find out who did shoot Dr. King. And you're not gonna get an answer you're truly satisfied with. So basically, in 1993, Lloyd Jowers, a restaurateur, he owned Jim's Grill in Memphis, that was right behind the boarding house that James Earl Ray had rented a room in. And he admitted in 1993 that he hired a hitman. A drug dealer named Frank Liberto had given him $100,000 to hire a hitman to shoot Dr. King. He said that hitman was Earl Clark, a Memphis police lieutenant. And, well, I think the Memphis Police Department definitely did have something involved. I mean, in March of 1968, like, about a week before King arrived in Memphis, like, black Memphis sanitation workers went on strike, which King was coming to Memphis to support. And, like, Memphis police officers brutally beat them. White Memphis police officers beat these black sanitation workers on strike. And in the aftermath of the shooting, the MPD, Memphis Police Department, had ignored stories from 6 eyewitnesses about the shooting. Yeah, that isn't fishy at all. This is more evidence to prove they had something to do with it. And also, William Pepper says that a friend told him that the shot probably came, that they saw a man in the bushes. And this is the same from King's driver on the day of the assassination. They were going to go have dinner at King's friend's house. But King's driver had said that they saw a man in the bushes. And then Pepper says that someone told him there were photos of that. And the bushes were in the backyard of Jim's Grill. So I think all this evidence, like the Memphis Police Department had tried to cover it up. They had definitely been behind it somehow. And the fact that the hitman, it's reasonable to think that the hitman was in the backyard of the person who hired him. I think that Earl Clark was the killer of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I rest my case. I think it's a very, very messy case. You're never really going to get a good answer. But I think I made a pretty good case that Earl Clark was Dr. King's killer. One more thing, I can't believe I forgot to mention this. In 1999, a year after Ray died, the King family won a civil case against Jowers and, quote, others, including unspecified government officials, who, in a Memphis jury, had convicted them of participating in a conspiracy to kill King. The King family was awarded with just $100, because they wanted to prove they weren't doing it for financial gain. The following year, however, the DOJ, Department of Justice, rejected the finding of the Memphis jury because the evidence was all unopposed. There was no evidence in defense of Jowers. So that's really all the evidence we have to back this up. It's really all you really can do. But yeah, I stand by it. Earl Clark killed Dr. King. The FBI, I don't have any evidence to confirm nor deny that they were part of the killing process, but the aftermath, the investigation, covering it up and framing Ray, I could definitely see that. Most likely. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. If you have any evidence to support a contradicting theory, comment down below, and also below comment what other mysteries you want me to solve in my next theory video, because I love making these videos. They're really fun. So yeah, just let me know if you guys, what next theory you want me guys to solve. And bye.